Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Now, before I begin today's thoughts video, I just want to share all of you a quick massive update with what's going on with, of course, the recent SAG-AFTRA strike that's been going on. Now that I've already mentioned the Writers Guild of America already got their strike settled, and boy, it looks like we're met with some really great news because as of yesterday, by the time this video goes live, pretty much all the actors, and especially the members of SAG-AFTRA, have finally came a deal with, of course, the major studios, and their strike is officially settled as we speak. So yeah, that is phenomenal, and I'm really glad to hear that for sure. So yeah, I just want to share all of you that quick massive update before I give you guys pretty much the main meat and potatoes of why you clicked on this video in the first place for sure. So yeah, now that SAG-AFTRA finally got their strike settled, it looks like they're finally gonna get themselves back to work, and we'll be expecting some new movies for coming out next year for sure. So what will that mean for, of course, these thoughts videos for sure? Well, of course, as I mentioned earlier, I did leave plenty of links and stuff that I've actually been sharing over the course of these thoughts videos for quite a few months now that I've decided to put in to help correspond with, of course, the strikes that were going on. And well, now that they're both settled for sure, I guess all the links are provided down in the description box below that I've actually been sharing to correspond with the strikes. Yeah, this video will, of course, be the last one where, of course, you'll see all these links for sure. But however, I do have one other thing in mind for sure. So yeah, all the links and stuff that I've actually shared to correspond with the ongoing strikes for sure over the course of these thoughts videos, those are definitely going to be gone now that both of them are finally settled. However, right up until the end of this year, I've decided to leave the link for the Entertainment Community Fund just for all of you guys to check out for sure. So yeah, if you actually want to still show your support to the actors and the writers and everyone else in the entertainment industry, then all you gotta do is go to entertainmentfund.org. Yeah, pretty much, sorry about that. So yeah, definitely go check out the Entertainment Community Fund with the link that's provided right here for sure. And if you can, definitely donate as much as you can to, of course, help out all these people in the entertainment industry for sure. So yeah, that link you see right here, that's gonna remain there right up until the end of this year for sure. And of course, afterwards, starting in 2024, all these thoughts videos that I've been pushing out ever since I first started putting them up on my channel for quite a long time now. It's yeah, all the links and stuff that I've provided to correspond with the strikes, those are definitely going to be gone, and they're definitely going to be back to normal for sure. So yeah. But I guess until then, right up until the end of this year, I'm definitely leaving the link to the Entertainment Community Fund for you guys to check out for sure. And like I said, if you can, donate as much as you can for sure. So yeah, I guess with that being said, that should do exactly that. Thank you guys so much for watching this quick message real quick. And with that being said, enjoy my latest thoughts video on the brand new MCU movie, The Marvels. Take care. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and whew, wow. Well, I guess it looks like, I guess since the last thoughts video that I did earlier this month, yeah, it looks like we're really kicking off pretty much the month of November in terms of movies with some pretty interesting choices, I have to say, and yeah, quite surprisingly enough, looks like this week for me is actually pretty interesting when you really think about it. I mean, let's really face it, pretty much my 28th birthday actually went as well as I hoped. I really had a ball with, of course, my massive set of TikTok videos that I put out on my ballerina barber cosplay because, hey, can't get enough of that SAG cosplay for sure, so don't deny that, and not to mention, I've completed my internship at my job, and I'm about to start earning some cold hard cash for it. That'll be interesting to see how the hell it'll go, and now we have this scenario right now, and yeah, I guess by the time this video goes live, this movie is already out as we speak. Yeah. Quite a surprise that I actually had to mention that for sure. So yeah, I guess it's what I could say on, of course, that front. But yeah, truth, yeah, long story short, I think right around earlier today, by the time I'm recording this video for sure, I think, believe it or not, I've actually pretty much took most of Thursday, yeah, pretty much most of Thursday today, actually quite well, just chilling and relaxing for a bit, and of course had to go out for a doctor's appointment for sure when, believe it or not, out of nowhere, I've actually made my way over to the movie theater once again, and actually settled in for, of course, a early Thursday screening of the latest movie that had just came out, So, yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I could say on that front. So yeah, rather instead of course, waiting until sometime this weekend to talk about this movie, I've actually took the time and actually made my way over to the movie theater for a pretty nice early Thursday screening of course, the latest movie that had just came out for sure. So yeah. And I guess you can make the argument that I pretty much already did that when I talked about Exorcist Believer last month. To which, yeah, I guess it is sort of true. As much as I absolutely hated that SAG film for sure, I do love for the fact that I've actually decided to go out for a Thursday night screening of that movie beforehand, so that way I will have more time to focus on other things for the weekend. To which in that scenario, I actually was lucky enough to see that film just in time, just so that I can have more time to prep up for a Retro Game Con for that SAG weekend, which, I won't lie, is actually really quite nice. So yeah, and I guess for that case, I've actually went for round 2 of a early Thursday screening of the latest movie that had just came out for sure. So yeah, pretty much went for a round 2 of course this idea, and boy, I should really do that more often just so that I can get my main lineup of movies done really fast for sure. I should really think about doing that more often. But anyways, enough about me. I think we might as well jump right on to the main subject, and of course this video. So yeah. And I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, if I went out for a early Thursday night screening of the latest movie that just came out, what did I go see this time? Well, that is actually a really interesting question for sure. So yeah, and I guess in the case of today's movie for sure, we're actually gonna go back to, of course, the yeah, pretty much back to one main subject matter that has actually popped up on these thoughts videos every once in a while for sure. To which, yeah, speaking of which, I know a lot of you guys are, of course, I know pretty much in the last Thoughts video that I did mention that I would actually talk about Volume 9 of Ruby, that'll be, that I might actually plan on talking about now that I finally got it on Blu-ray, and don't worry about a thing, I will still plan on, of course, doing exactly that for sure, so yeah, don't, yeah, don't get yourself freaking out too much. Don't worry, it is coming. I just need to find the right time to actually finally watch it and officially talk about it for sure. So yeah, but right up until then, I've actually, I think I might as well dive right into, of course, the latest movie that had just came out that I do kind of felt that I'm gonna need to talk about for sure. And, well, I guess in the last Thoughts video that I did when I talked about part 2 of the Ruby and Justice League movie, seeing of how that was, of course, released under DC, I think we might as well jump back into another comic book company that has also been releasing a interesting lineup of movies for sure, and that being, of course, Marvel. So yeah, I guess you can pretty much get the clear picture on that. For today's movie I'm talking about here today that I did manage to see just one day earlier for sure, I've actually, I think it's about time that we finally get to talk about the latest movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe once again. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that front. And in the case of today's movie I'm talking about, we're officially going to be talking about the latest one that had just came out, which is none other than The Marvels. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, it is, of course, the latest movie that had just came out for sure. And ironically enough, I think it also serves as pretty much either a sequel to Captain Marvel or a continuation of Miss Marvel, but either one of those are connecting us somehow, so either one of them will do just fine. But regardless, it is, of course, what I'm talking about here today, and that's exactly what I'm going to give to all of you. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright, done with that, so... Okay, so yeah, before I can go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense to to actually bring up a few things that I need to bring up. So yeah, if you may not recall, years ago, I actually did talk about Captain Marvel all the way back in 2019, and just to recap on, of course, why I thought of that, I wouldn't necessarily say it's probably the greatest I've actually seen in the MCU by far, but I do kind of like it for what it is, and it's not really my cup of tea nonetheless, but I do understand that a lot of people seem to have mixed reactions on that, but it is coming from me, seeing of how I do like the idea of course, a female superhero in the MCU for sure. I mean, really think about it, DC actually did quite well with Wonder Woman, so I could actually see the possibilities with Captain Marvel being the same way, but it didn't turn out to be as great as I hoped, but still turned out good regardless, so yeah, and of course, pretty much, if you may recall, last year, I did talk about one of the Disney Plus shows that actually made its way on here last year, which is, of course, Miss Marvel. And again, I do surprisingly thought it was a really great show for sure, but hey, I wouldn't bear repeating myself for sure. I'm pretty sure my thoughts videos on those two, from what I can gather, can actually do a much better job than I can for sure, so... But yeah, those are, of course, a little recap on, of course, what I thought of those two for sure, so yeah. And, of course, if anything, given to, of course, how well Captain Marvel did, and Miss Marvel did very well on Disney Plus, I was, of course, quite curious to see on how they'll pretty much be incorporating more in the future of the MCU. And, well, when I actually first heard the news about this sequel for sure, let alone saw the trailers for it, ironically enough, I do think I did have some curiosity upon seeing it for sure, so yeah, that actually did get me quite curious, and I actually am surprisingly interesting for sure. I mean, really think about it, just by having Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and of course Monica, aka Captain Rambo, actually team up for sure. I do think there is some strong possibilities for sure, just to help expand a whole lot more and actually give us something that actually can be pretty epic for sure. So yeah, that actually did pique my interest when I saw the trailers for it, and I was quite curious to see on how it'll go down for sure. So yeah. And, of course, it is exactly what I got. It has, of course, well, once again, thanks to the kind people over at Crown City Cinemas, I did manage to make it in just in time for the early Thursday screening of course, this movie for sure. And, well, by the time this video goes live, the movie is officially out for sure. And yes, by the way, this video is officially out on the movie's official release date, so I think it is a good way to mix things up a bit, and I actually do surprisingly like that regardless, so but yeah, regardless, I got myself into the movie theater, and of course, I did manage to see this movie for sure, and well, I just literally got out of course, seeing it, and of course, the question remains, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, ironically enough, I actually thought it was alright. Yeah, I'm completely serious. I think this movie is decent. I mean, granted, it's not really as great as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but it's thankfully not as weak as Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. But yeah, I think my point still stands. I actually thought this movie was actually pretty decent. And I am saying that with a bright smile on my face. So yeah. That's exactly what I'm giving to all of you guys, yeah. So yeah. I actually do thought this movie was actually a pretty decent one for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's not really as great as I thought it was going to be, but thankfully it's not terrible for sure. I actually do think it's an alright flick for sure, so yeah. That's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, so yeah, if I do thought, if a lot of you guys are wondering, pretty much, yeah, if you guys may be wondering, why do I think this movie is decent? So yeah, I guess you are asking why, so might as well explain and get right on to the stuff that I need to talk about for sure, So yeah, I guess for starters is of course the story for of course this movie, and of course admittedly, I actually do think it actually does have a very nice and an interesting story for sure, yeah. Yeah, quite literally, I think from of course what I've actually seen, I know part of the movie I'm actually that I'm actually gonna be getting is of course again Captain Rambo, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel actually teaming up for sure, and yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, I think it is exactly what I got for sure, and in terms of, yeah, and again, in terms of the movie's story for sure, again, I do think it actually does have some really good ideas for sure, and I actually am really quite glad it actually does take the time to utilize it quite well for sure, and I do think it actually does work well with, of course, what I've actually seen, and it really does flow things out rather flawlessly for sure. However, there are a few hiccups that I can actually say that can make the story be absolutely derailed for sure, but again, I do like the nice approach they actually went for with, of course, this one, and I do think they they actually delivered it rather flawlessly for sure. Well, not entirely, but only a little bit from what I can gather. So yeah. I guess that is, of course, what I can say for, of course, the story. And as for the writing, I have to say, well, ironically enough, on paper, it does have some good ideas here and there, but a lot of other times, I just kind of felt the writing is not really as executed as I thought it was going to be. There are a few stuff that pretty much that just didn't make any sense and just almost make me want to facepalm for sure. But again, a few selected parts I do think are written just fine for sure. And even the comedy, I have to say, for while not all of the jokes actually got a good laugh out of me for sure, I did get away with a little bit of a chuckle here and there for sure. So yeah, not really as I thought would be, but again, maybe I think with a little bit of adjustments here and there, we could have gotten something a little bit more fantastic for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say for, of course, the story, the writing, and the comedy for sure. Yeah, pretty much story-wise, I do think it has some really good ones that I actually couldn't get enough of, and I do admire on how well this movie did exactly that. While, of course, the comedy and the writing could use some work here and there to make it all the more fantastic. But I digress, so yeah, I guess it's what I can say for, of course, those aspects in a nutshell for sure. So yeah. Alright. Okay, so now that I've got those out of the way, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure. So for starters is, of course, the characters, and admittedly enough, I do think the characters in this movie actually really are actually quite nice for sure. Yeah, literally from, of course, what I've actually seen, I do like the way these characters are flowed out throughout the course of this movie for sure, and it is something I really can't get enough of for sure, and I really do admire the pretty much the amount of development they've actually got, and even with, of course, for this being a sequel to Captain Marvel, I do like the way the characters have actually grown a whole lot compared to the first time we've actually seen them for sure. And you really dig, of course, the pretty much their flaws and their struggles that they're willing to overcome for sure, even with, of course, a big, massive threat getting in the way of all things. And yeah, I really do admire, of course, how well this movie actually did a fine job, and, of course, exactly that for sure. So yeah, that's what I can say for, of course, the characters for sure. And yeah, and I guess for another aspect, all the actors that came on board to play all these characters, admittedly enough, I actually do think they pulled off some pretty good performances for sure. I mean, it's not great from, of course, what I can gather, but I do think they actually are pretty good for sure. Like, of course, you still got pretty much that stern and of course, at the same time, charming and likable personality Brie Larson has brought into Captain Marvel for sure. And of course, let's not forget to mention, I still absolutely love Nick Fury, played again by Samuel L. Jackson. He always shines through for sure. And yeah, I really do like the way that he's actually utilized a whole lot more for sure. And well, I mean, I think it's saying a whole lot compared to a Secret Invasion, but I wouldn't know since I have yet to see Secret Invasion for sure. But I digress, So yeah, I guess it's pretty much what I can say for all the actors for sure. They really pulled off some pretty good performances nonetheless, and I really do admire, of course, on how well they actually portrayed their characters for sure. So yeah, those are of course what I can say for those two aspects in a nutshell for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on that. Alright. Alright, so now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot for sure. So for starters, again, since this is a superhero movie, I guess, what is the one thing that comes into your mind when you think of a superhero movie? That's right, the action. So yeah, admittedly enough, I think in terms of the action from, of course, what I can gather, admittedly, I do think it is actually very well done for sure. Literally, from every single fight scene and everything else that's gone on for sure, I do think it is actually quite good for sure. I mean, it's not great by all means, but I do think it is actually still done pretty good for sure, and I do love the way on how well choreographed each of the fight scenes actually turned out for sure, and even with things going on pretty much in like whether it be from of course from a planet or of course in outer space for sure, I do like the nice environment they actually put into of course all that for sure. So yeah, that's actually one thing I can say for of course that front for sure. So so yeah, and of course don't get me wrong, admittedly I think there are a few parts in the action during my time seeing this movie where admittedly I did kind of yawn and almost kind of cringe a bit for sure, but again, some of the ones that are actually really good are actually done really good, so yeah, and of course, pretty much for another aspect, the visuals and the effects, honestly to me, I think they're kind of hit and miss in of course this film for sure, like pretty much of anything, I think for one thing, for most of the effects and stuff when they incorporate their superpowers and stuff, admittedly, I do think they actually are really great for sure, and you actually really do feel that our heroes have actually really incorporated their powers rather flawlessly for sure, and that's something I actually really do admire for sure. They really did a fine job on exactly that, and even most of the set pieces I have to say are also done pretty well for sure. So, but however, where it actually does pretty much fall flat from, of course, what I can gather, yeah, I think most of the CG and, of course, this film, I just kind of felt is not rendered quite well, and could have actually used some touch-ups here and there to make it all the more realistic, but I don't know. I think pretty much most of the CG and the effects and stuff, I just don't really think really caught my eye for sure, and it's a bit of a massive eyesore for what I can gather, so yeah, I guess if anything, the visuals and the effects in this movie, it can be hit and miss for the most part for sure. But however, I really do admire the really great world building for sure. Like, of course, every single planet, galaxy, and even universe from what I've actually seen. I will have to say, I really do love the incredible world building they actually put into all this for sure. The way they actually go from one planet to, of course, to the next one, from one galaxy to another, from one universe to another, and even the pretty much the outer reach of outer space, I have to say. Admittedly, I do think they really did a fine job, and of course, exactly that, so again, it's not really as grand or epic, like again, as seeing in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but to me, I do think they did a fine job in doing exactly that for sure. It's kind of a shame that we could have actually seen a whole lot more of that, but hey, some of the ones that they can actually showcase in this movie, I do think still works here nonetheless. So yeah, that's what I can say for the world building for sure. So yeah, and of course, pretty much for the direction of this film, to which, by the way, I should mention, this film is, of course, done by the film's director, Nia DaCosta, who of course, previously directed the 2021 Candyman movie, which I did talk about a couple of years ago. So yeah, more in depth on what I thought about that in its own video that I did a couple of years ago, if you have the time to check it out for sure. So yeah, I have to say her directing in this film, admittedly, I do think it is actually done fine for sure. Again, nothing really anything that incredible from what I've actually seen compared to her last film that she directed before this one, but I guess in the case of this movie, I do think it is done fine for sure. Again, could have actually put a whole lot more hard work and effort and soul to actually make the direction of this movie stand out a whole lot more, but I still think it is done fine for sure. So yeah, and of course for the cinematography, again, I will have to say it is fine for sure. There are some good camera shots from what I've actually seen, but nothing really anything that incredible from, of course, what I can gather for sure. So yeah, and of course for the A-ing, well, admittedly, there are a few parts of it that could have used a little bit more tweaking and stuff, but again, I think the A in this film is decent enough from what I can gather for the most part, and I guess more importantly, I guess I must ask, did it do a fine job in letting Captain Marvel, Rambo, and Miss Marvel actually team up together? Actually, yeah, for sure, with, of course, what I've actually seen... excuse me, with what I've actually seen on my part, I think those three actually do have some really interesting chemistry from what I can gather, and I actually do want to see them actually get together, and yeah, that's exactly what I got, and I do like the way that their interactions actually have grown a whole lot as the movie progresses for sure, and you really actually do a feel for them for sure, and yeah, they actually did actually make a really great team for sure. So yeah, with all those combined for sure, I guess it's what I can say for, of course, this movie for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright, so those are, of course, what I can say for, of course, this movie. So yeah, overall, the Marvels, yeah. What else can I say this about this movie for sure? I mean, yeah, I think it's nothing really anything that great, but thankfully it's not as terrible. I do think it's actually pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's what I can say on that front. It's not good, not bad. It's just pretty decent for sure. And yeah, I think with, of course, some of the stuff that I've actually was expecting for, I'm glad they actually showcase it all in, of course, this movie for sure. And yeah, it did gave me something actually quite interesting from what I can gather. And I do like the way they've actually utilized that quite well for sure, and that's something I actually can't get enough of for sure. I mean, granted, yeah, don't get me wrong, there are some parts of it that I think could have been adjusting a whole lot more to make it all the more fantastic, but with some of the stuff that we've actually seen, I do think it is done fair enough for sure, which still makes this movie pretty passable for sure. Yeah, that's right, I say it. I do think it's passable, so yeah. Yeah, I guess it's what I can say for, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, I guess if you are looking for a decent enough Captain Marvel / continuation of Miss Marvel, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that can actually be pretty decent, but can give you something good, then yeah, chances are I think this movie is, of course, well worth your time checking out for sure. So yeah, you're not gonna get much from, of course, what I can gather, but for this movie in general, again, I do think it is actually decent enough for sure. And yeah, I guess it is safe to say this movie is indeed a passable one that I think you can easily get through for sure. And once you actually do finally get off, of course, seeing you'd be like, yeah, this movie is alright, but hey, I think it is still done fair enough for sure. So yeah, I do think this movie is a decent one to check out for sure. Like I said, you're not going to get anything that great or spectacular, but thank God you're not going to get something terrible, but you are still going to be getting something that's still passable for sure. So yeah, I guess that's what I can say, of course, at that front. This movie is indeed a decent one to check out for sure. So yeah, for my final score, I guess it is quite obvious from what I could gather. And yeah, I am definitely being nice on, of course, this one. Similar to how much how nice I am to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, so 6.5 out of 10 as my final score. So yeah. Thankfully, it's not as terrible as a lot of people may think, but sadly, it's not anything that great either, but it's still a decent one to check out for sure, and it's still alright from what I could gather. Yeah, that's what I said. I think this movie is alright to check out, so yeah. I guess that's what I can say on, of course, that front, and I guess given to that thought, I guess it looks like it'll do it for the few set of movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for now. So yeah. And I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, how will they fare up for 2024 next year for sure? Well, only time will tell, of course, at that front, but we'll definitely have to wait and see on that front. Maybe they might give us something good for next year, or we're gonna have to wait a while for sure. But hey, I'm sure they'll actually give us something quite interesting for next year for sure. But for now, I think the Marvels is, of course, a decent one to actually close out their year for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess on that thought, that'll pretty much do exactly that, So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I must ask, what do you think of the Marvels? If you've got the chance to see it, do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think it's a really great follow-up for sure, or do you absolutely hate it and think pretty much it's just absolute garbage, or are you like me and you actually thought it was a decent flick for sure? So yeah, let me know what you thought about this movie in the comment section below. I would definitely love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and yeah, can't believe I actually made it through round 2 of course, seeing a new movie that just came out for a early Thursday screening for sure. So again, I should really think about doing that more often for sure. But hey, I guess right up until then, and now that I finally got that out of the way extremely early for sure, might as well set my eyes for, of course, next weekend for, of course, a couple other movies that'll be coming out for sure. What ones, you may ask? Well, you're gonna have to keep watching to find out, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, but I guess until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with SamAttack4427's, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.